Hello everyone, welcome to another data or text solution video. In this one, we are going to provide a tutorial in how to automate the storing and organizing news article in a relatively simple but rewarding web scraping project. The case for news article and the scraping and the storage of them, there could be multiple use cases for that. Now, one of the use cases that I've seen it a lot in my previous experiences was the need to know what's going on with the community, keeping up to date, staying on top of the news, because we have a meeting with the client, so we need to know what's going on in their community. We need to know what's the most pain points, what's the concern, what's happening right now. And news are overwhelming, it's too much, there's too many, most of the time they're not organized, so we need to see how we can, through this mass of information, get some targeted but organized information that is of interest for us. And the use case could be that you have a meeting with the client, you want to be on top of what's happening for them, but also maybe you want to be proactive in a situation and know what's actually going on in a specific community to provide a specific products or actions related to that. So you could either look at it from a reactive perspective or proactive perspective for sales or business teams that I've seen the use cases a lot, but also it could be a Python project for data scientists that you may have many different use cases for that as well. So I'm going to use Beautiful Soup package in this case, and the use case that we're going to see, we have a specific amount of resources, RSS feeds that we're going to see first what they are, how you can get and organize your data, and then we're going to have a look at the code next. Okay, before going further, just to let you know that as always, this is an open access project. The code, everything, the whole project is available free online. The link for that is in the description with the explanation step by step wise. In this video, I'm going to provide the explanation of how it works and how you can customize it based on your own need. So let's assume the first step, you have some idea about the source of news that you want to actually get your information from. One example could be like basic news websites that you have, or you could have some community, some more specific website. The qualifier for us, this website is eligible as long as there is some sort of RSS feeds, because this is actually web scraping using RSS feeds with Python that we're gonna do. And this is one example of the website that I just want to go over it. And if you search for RSS, there is a RSS page here, and you can see different types of web page of RSS. So each of them have their own category. If you click in either of them, that's the information behind the RSS feeds, right? So we want to see a set of these essentially these URLs that are linked to the source of our data, and then we can do and conduct our scraping. And in the way that we scrape, we pick some information that create some organization on top of it. We take description, titles, the links, and different ways that we can organize it, which we're gonna see next. Okay, so let's look at the code itself. As always, we have a couple of packages that we're gonna import. The key one here, the type of RSS feeds that are actually used in this project, most of them, the most interesting aspect of it is, turns out, that XML process parsing that I'm gonna show you what it is. It's actually, it produce the best result, the most structured result, and that's why I use essentially this part here, and then a couple of the general packages. Now, what is our data? So again, you have different sources of news, and what we want to do, we want to get some sort of URL for their RSS feeds, and also some categorization information if you can on top of it as you store the data. So in this case, I have a sample. I stored a couple of them. You know the source, let's say CTV News or Global News or wherever it is. But as you saw, each of these news websites, they could have multiple feeds. So it could be useful to already provide maybe another column, something like subcategory or whatever you want to add, to specify what's actually the name of that RSS feed. because that gives you another filter. At the end of the day, we're gonna have all this data. The more information you have, the more organized it is, the more ability for you to filter the data and get what you want. For example, location is an interesting important thing. So as you can see, there's a couple of location specific RSS news feeds that you can see here. So that's the type of data that we have, but in this case the most important one, we have the RSS feeds to go after. So next we're gonna have a look at the overview of the result for one example of RSS feed and different news article inside it. This is the news article. Actually we look at it manually. Now we're gonna automate scraping it using requests. We get the content of this news website RSS feeds. For that we put it in R, and then we get the content of it using Beautiful Soup. And the key thing here that based on the experimentation using the news website we found is the structure using XML worked best for our use case here. So we use features equal to XML, we get the content in Soup. Soup now has all the information in that XML format, in that JSON type or tree kind of format that we saw, and then we have different news article inside it. So let's have a look at the Soup content that has that kind of, it's not as structured, as organized that we want. It has everything in the content of the news website for our article section. So it's something like this that has everything, the dates, the content information on the website. But what we're looking really after is the news articles. And again, for the standard news articles that are reviewed, for many examples in North America or even in Europe, the context, the structure that we saw, it has been, this is the structure that we find. And again, in use case, you want to have a look if that's the same for your example of RSS feeds. But that what I find is that item was the essential section name that categorizes different articles. So as long as we can have some sort of command that give me all the items, such as this, find all items, then we have all the news articles as some sort of list in here, right? Now let's actually do that. And now we have it, and then let's look at the first item of this article, because actually if you look at the content of everything, we have item that has all the information for summarized for one article. It's end here, and then the next item begins, right? So these are different news articles. So if we look at one example or the first example of the article, this is the information. You have the title, you have the link, the description, the categorization, and some more information. These are the information that we are interested to get and structure and summarize, which we're gonna see how we do it next. So I had to have a look at the Soup and articles content that we create as an overview, but we're actually using them in the next section. This is the main body when we go over all our US RSS URLs one by one. For each of the RSS feeds that we have, we get all the articles and we store it in articles object here, and then we loop over the articles, and from each article what we do, we extract the information that we want. That information is title, link, publication date, description. There's a category, and there's an article ID that could be useful. We put it here just in case. And then there could be examples that you have either invalid or missing information in either of them. So that's why I added these two lines to deal with that case. At the end, again, we have the article object. We want to put them together, the information from each article, append it to some sort of list. So here you have some sort of list of lists, and what we do, we are actually creating a data frame, a little bit more structured tabular view of the articles, and that's how we actually add on top of it, and then we store it in a CSV file in this case. Again, in the use cases that I had, I wanted to schedule regular run of this code that on a daily manner or weekly manner, however, goes over a specific website or RSS feeds, grabs the information, provide that information in some sort of content. So we have another one of our colleague to go over and filter and use that data set in some sort of shape. So again, that's how it works for now. Let's have a look at the data itself. Then we can talk about, okay, what next? How else we can structure and get information from this data potentially. So in this case, again, I have the examples in a web, in a CSV file. So I can look at this CSV that I have here. Let me open it just in the VS Code that I am here, but of course you can look at it, open it however you want. So this is finally, based on the example, all the news article in different information for them, title, link, publication date, description, everything as you would saw, and the source, subcategory, and category. As you remember, are the three information we already had when we categorize and we get manually we got the RSS feed URLs. So what is the next step? Again, one possible next step is now our data is a little bit, news data is a little more structured. We can go over and filter it. I have a video on how looking over how we can slice or filter the data, which you can have a look at more for non-technical background usage of that. But one possible thing is that the title and description provide good information of what's going on within each news. So let's say if you're looking for a specific topic, climate change, environment, or whatever that we're looking for, or we're looking for a specific location, locality. So these are, maybe we're looking for some keywords that we can look for and filter between title and description. Again, there could be more semantic work done there. One other thing that could be done, we have the link for each news article, so potentially there could be a second or additional scraping project that you look at each news article, go and grab more information. There is more body of text for you to grab and analyze to see what's actually the news. So if you have a criteria to narrow down, then you can narrow down those links and again write some sort of automation scraping code to go over and grab the body of text there as well. That's a potential next step. Again, one use case is could be simply go over it for some sort of monitoring of the community in Next. So this is how this code works, and I have everything available as explanation step by step in article with the link, and also the link for this code as well in the description. Hopefully that has been useful for your need. Let me know in the comment if you have any question, any other comment, any other project that could be useful, could be similar with this solution. Hopefully that has been useful. See you in next video.